everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today for another Breaking Bitcoin Market Update brought to you by your host, Justin Wise for CrackingCryptocurrency.com. I hope everybody's weekend went well. I hope nobody got super excited last night and blew out their trading account. Congratulations to those individuals who were able to manage the bounce well. I went to sleep last night, so I missed the large majority of what happened on. Obviously, received a lot of text messages while I was asleep and kind of woke up to the craziness and the FUD and the excitement that I see everybody kind of point out. So let's make some sense of this is what I'd like to do. Now, before I went to bed last night, I did put out the long signal to 6,300 for the premium subscribers. Congratulations on everybody who took that trade. That was a nice 17% profit with the leverage that we recommended, so that was a good trade. And I don't see why anybody would be... This is just part of trading, guys. You want to... The main point is capital preservation. You know, the main reason why retail traders lose out so much is that they have very short time horizons, very unrealistic expectations of multiplying their portfolio. And especially, I know the situation that so many traders are in, that they didn't listen, that they didn't receive the advice of somebody who knew more, they didn't know how to hedge their position or take profits, or really the main issue here is hedging against loss. Most people who are investing in Bitcoin and attempting to trade Bitcoin are not experienced traders or investors, and they didn't have the knowledge or capacity or follow through to actually hedge their positions. And that's why so many people have suffered throughout the bear market. And that's why channels like these exist, so that we can help educate you on the proper way to trade with our trading experience. So again, I guess the point that I want to point out here is that I'm not sure. Well, I am sure. I understand why individuals might think that they could have garnered more off that, but the reality is that a lot of people got wrecked because they tried to go long at that top. And that nice safe trade to 6,300 was a good one. Now, if you were sitting in front of the charts like I wasn't last night, you know, and if you were trading appropriately on the correct time frame, the opportunity was there for a lot of money. So I won't wax too long about this. I'll just say congratulations to those who profited. And to those who didn't profit, I want you to take a good look at what happened last night and what mistakes that you made. So let's get to the news, the Tether scuttlebutt. First off, I gotta say, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to keep up to date on the latest in Bitcoin news, as well as altcoin calls and updates on our signals and learn how to trade, all that wonderful stuff, make sure to hit subscribe. And if you're a returning viewer and supporter, thank you so much. We'd really like you to hit that thumbs up button and comment down below. The question for the day will be at the end of the video, so stay tuned. All right, with that out of the way, let's get to the Tether scuttlebutt. Now, first off, I just want to say this. This fundamentally changes absolutely nothing. This changes absolutely nothing fundamentally about where Bitcoin's at with its price. The overall trend is still to the downside, and we are still in a bear market. Last night changed absolutely nothing, and I'm going to point this out with technical analysis when we get to the charts. Last night, let's be clear about this. Last night was clearly the result of the Tether meltdown. The price movement was purely due to the Tether sell-off. Tether traded down to 85 cents against the US dollar. And there was a very good reason for this. We've been documenting this for a while now. I began talking about this when Bitfinex originally came out with his reports against Bitfinex 6 months ago, I believe. And I was talking about this in my last week's video. If you guys want to go back and check that out, I was talking about kind of this new wave of stuff put out by Crypto Medication Proof of Research on his Twitter, and following his results, obviously, I was concerned that he had been censored on Medium. I didn't like that, so I talked about that a little bit. So one thing I want to point out that I'm not hearing anybody talk about is that we saw this recent drop, and we saw this huge these huge red candles when Bitcoin did drop from about 6,500 all the way down to that $6,000 range. Weren't able to crack down below 6,000, but I've heard the theory that this result was actually Bitfinex or Bitfinex agents selling off Bitcoin for USDT, attempting to shore up the price of USDT. Now, I haven't looked into this a whole lot. I think it's an interesting theory, but it's just something to kind of think about. If anybody has the time or the desire on their hands to try to correlate that to the charts, I don't have that time at this moment. I think that'd be interesting, and I'd be, if you can come up with some good research and DM me in the Discord, I'd be happy to kind of share your research on the channel. However, we do know that following last week, the banking, kind of the banking FUD about Bitfinex, where are they banking? Their Noble Bank, they had a relationship with Noble Bank in Puerto Rico or Costa Rica. I can't remember exactly which one it was. And that bank was up for sale, was insolvent. So people were wondering, well, where's Bitfinex doing all its banking? There were rumors that USD deposits were disabled for the time. And then there was the rumors that Bitfinex was absolutely fine and they were going through HSBC Bank. But, when you bring along all this baggage with you, you just have to wonder as a retail trader and investor, like, can I trust my money with Bitfinex? And clearly a lot of people decided that no, they cannot, and they cannot trust Tether whatsoever. So following this, USDT sold off en masse last night. And this was clearly the result of individuals moving their USDT off of Bitfinex or off of USDT exchanges to USD exchanges, trading it for Bitcoin, which caused the spike in Bitcoin's price. And then Bitcoin immediately shot back down because people traded from Bitcoin into USD or other cryptos. There's an interesting side to this that I'm going to show you when we get onto the charts based on volume. And I think you're going to see why this leads to the bearish case far more than the bullish case. Now, I do want to point out a possibility here, and this is for uninformed investors who don't know anything about the Tether, and they're just merely, maybe they have a little bit of Bitcoin, but they're not keeping up to news, or maybe they don't have any Bitcoin, and they're just kind of looking at the price charts or the news. Now, there is a possibility here, and I will make a short, although I don't think it sustainable case, for the bullish bias toward Bitcoin, and that is that uninformed investors seeing this massive spike off the bottom support will think that this is the beginning of the next bull run, not knowing the correlation to the Tether meltdown, and they'll merely take this as a sign of a bullish reversal, and dumb money could pour in. So we could see kind of a magnifying effect based off of this. So basically, to sum that up, individuals who don't know dick all about Bitcoin are just going to think this is a bullish reversal and pour their money in, and that could push the price of Bitcoin up because that's the fresh, we need fresh money, we need fresh buyers to sustain this, because as I'll show you when we go to the charts, the individuals who already bought at the bottom are exhausted. They haven't even sold off en masse, as I'll show you. So that means that unless there's a new wave of buying support, Bitcoin's price is not going to move up much further. So I will make that case for the bulls. However, based on the technical analysis, that's just a theory. Based on the technical analysis, I don't think that that holds up. So let's show you what I'm talking about, and let's get to the charts, guys. All right, so we're going to start off just by pointing out this Tether meltdown, and we're looking at the USDT to USD chart on Kraken on the 60-minute chart. So we can see here that last night we saw the beginnings of the sell-off right here when Tether initially spiked down to 94 cents. When it had already been trading for quite a minute at a discount to the US dollar at 98 cents, dropping down to 97 cents, finding a range at 96 cents, and then we spike all the way down to 94 cents, and then it just gets massive right here where we sell all the way off to 85 cents. It spikes back up, obviously, a lot of bots and probably a lot of individuals trying to get in and arbitrage this around. However, the fact remains that, just for the last almost a week now, USDT had been trading at a premium to other stable coins like TrueUSD and other ones, especially on Binance. So there was a lot of arbitrage going on for almost a week now. But I just wanted to point this out. I mean, this is massive, and still now USDT is trading at a massive discount to the US dollar at 92 cents. That's an 8-cent discount. That's a 8-cent premium to the United States dollar. So the amount of arbitrage still going on, and price is just not able to make it back up. So if this remains, this is truly a death knell for Tether. All right, taking a look at Bitcoin on the weekly chart. I just wanted to point out some of the stuff that I've been talking about for a while. These call outs, my notes here have existed for quite a while. I just want to kind of refresh everybody on what I've been talking about. Nothing, and again, like I said, nothing has changed. So here we had our, on Ichimoku, we had our Tenkan Kijun cross to the downside, still dominant. That has not changed yet. In fact, it is multiplied. It has got even worse as our Kijun has moved higher as resistance, and our Tenkan has continued to follow the price downwards. Now, we're still trading on the weekly chart. We're still trading in that descending triangle that we've been plotting since February of 2018. Nothing has changed. We're still in the bear market. And today's week has not pushed us past. We can see we wick up, but do we close above the trend line? Absolutely not. In fact, we wick up and we come back down exactly to within the bounds of the trading range parameterized by this descending triangle. We're unable to close above the trend line. Price came up, right? Where did price come up to? Where did it wick up to? The 1.618 of this last month cycle that I had plotted out with Fibonacci. And I had pointed that level out earlier. I had put this here and I had talked about it in a previous video that you always want to have, I think it's a good strategy to always have buy positions set down at your worst case scenario, and you want to have sell positions set up at your best case scenario, so that when you're not in front of the charts and that when you're sleeping or doing whatever it is that you do in your daily life, that you can catch these massive price movements. And so that's not even something that I had been talking about to the premium subscribers, but it's something that I've been talking about in general in my trading strategy for quite a while. So I just want to say congratulations to everybody that had been listening and following that backup method and had some sells set up there at that 1.618 at about $6,888, $6,868, sorry. And we're able to catch that. We are still, right now, price, we are still underneath weekly volume resistance. We're trading right along that based upon this range all the way from, I mean, this chart right here tracks all the way back to April 2018. If we go back further, all right, awesome. So we can see that right now we are trading a little bit underneath or right around where the most massive amount of volume has been traded. Now, this just shows the bear market. This does not show the very beginnings of it, and this does not show the absolute peak top, and I'm not interested in correlating that at the moment right now. Now, the Kumo cloud looking into the future is still bearish, and it is actually widening out a little bit. The cloud is not twisting up or tightening, as I've heard some people say. So, on the weekly chart, the cloud is still quite bearish. So yeah, guys, this changes absolutely nothing. If we zoom in here a little bit and we see that the TD sequential system has not, is still neutral. We're still trading within the same bounds. We have a red 2 next to a red 1, but did the red 2 trade underneath the red 1? No, it did not. So on the weekly time frame, you are not supposed to be in a short position if you're trading along the TD method. And even though we wicked above the red, even though we wicked above the true high of the red 1, we haven't closed above it, and we still haven't price flipped to the upside. So we are still underneath this trend line until we close above it and then open another week above it. We are still in the bear market. I want to make that absolutely clear. Everything on this chart says bearish. All right, guys, now we've moved to the 6-hour chart. Now, I just want to point out here that you can see that we did wick above the descending trend line. I've said that ad nauseum. Now, we've been following this trend line for all year after breaking down, obviously from the peak high. This is the descending trend line of the descending triangle that we've been trading into for the entire trading portion of 2018. And it's because of recognition of this pattern that we as a trading group have been able to preserve capital and profit where other traders and Bitcoin holders have watched their funds just immolate upon the pyre of ignorance. Now, if you had been watching the charts, you would have seen that we price flipped here off the TD sequential. We bounced, we wicked down to the 236, found support, and then we started moving up. We bounced down again, and this gave you a second possible entry in case you were not paying attention or off getting a cup of ramen noodles for the night. And it was the bounce off this 236 at 61.56 that we entered the long position for the premium subscribers up to our 618. At about 6,300. This is 6,357. We undercut it a little bit at 6,300, and obviously we cleared that no problem. Now, I know obviously some traders that were active last night, the chat was blowing up, and they were able to trade this all the way up. Some people, got a little bit ahead of their skis, but I think, a lot of people, especially, I think it's interesting that I know a lot of people were shooting for these upper targets of 66.38 and 66.80 that I had posted up back here when I was doing the fib extensions and where our potential targets were. So I actually got some DMs from people saying, "Hey, those targets you posted like a week ago? Yeah, we hit those." So thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Sometimes things just work out. Yeah. So let's see here. So we price flipped, came down, got the second entry. We hit our 6,300. Now, let's say that you didn't have these convenient targets drawn for you on the chart. Where were some, you had targets, especially if you were right here, you had targets. I mean, you had the 786 Fibonacci extension, you had previous resistance, the beginning of your fib retracement measurement down. Let's see here. You had the Kumo cloud. You had the upper bands of the Kumo cloud. You had the previous Kumo cloud formation. You could have traded all those targets, so I definitely could have seen that. So it's not like if you weren't paying attention and had no idea what you were doing, like there was absolutely no validity to trading upwards. Now, why are we still bearish? Well, look at volume, guys, because there's been absolutely no follow through ever since this spike. We've returned roughly to our previous volume range right here. Volume right here is still fairly impressive. And yes, we do have a doji candle, but we're wicking right off our new Kijun resistance level that was formed by the Ichimoku. The Tenkan is tightening up, so there's a potential that we see a TK cross to the upside. However, current price has not moved above the Kijun yet, and here we get rejected from the Kijun as well. The main thing for me, one thing that I do want to point out, is our Kumo cloud is still to the downside. We do see a little bit of tightening up right here. However, our Kumo cloud is still to the downside. No sign yet, no follow through yet. All we do is establish a new 6-hour low, higher low, here at 63.47, and this level has to hold because we're not gonna see the 68.05. We're not gonna take this as an established high. Where do we close? Our new established close is at 64.04, and that's right where we close as well, pretty much to the downside. So really nothing changed from this level to this level. Still quite a fight. And now we're going to see if we can close above it. However, as we're bulling up right here, we've got this Kijun resistance above where we got rejected from previous. So I'm expecting that we're going to wick up here, and by the time this candle closes, because it did just open, we're going to see the downside movement, or we're going to see right here where prices stay sideways. Now, if price on Bitcoin stays sideways from here, then we're going to move to looking at the altcoin charts, because when price moves sideways on Bitcoin and people get bored, money pours into the altcoin calls. Now, we are monitoring several altcoin calls fairly closely that we had put those out. Some of them I talked about in my previous video back on Friday, and some of them, obviously, if you're a premium subscriber, we've been talking about on the daily and updating our positions. However, what I want to look at here is VPVR, and this is one of the most underrated indicators. And you can see here that even though we wick all the way up and we have this massive run up in purchasing power up to the 68.07 level, and then this massive sell-off down here, look where all the volume still is. So what does this say? At or around 61.95, anywhere from 61.90 to 6,200. Let's just split the baby. That's where all the volume was traded at, along this price axis right here. And even with this massive buy up, which is indicated right here, this is where most of the buying took place, and this massive sell down, the selling volume was not massive enough to recalculate our volume profile. What does this mean practically? It means that everyone who bought here has not yet sold up here. They're still sitting with their finger on the trigger on their sell-off. But what more does this mean as far as Bitcoin's ability to move upwards in price? It means that everybody already bought down here. So unless they are investing fresh capital, unless they're taking new loans out or cashing out their 401ks, those buyers, the large majority of buyers, are already exhausted. This means there is very little resistance for the bears to push the price down. So unless my previous theory of individuals who are uninformed Bitcoin followers or speculators, not knowing the correlation to Tether, rushing in with their fresh capital because maybe they haven't bought Bitcoin yet, they rush in and just see this as a bullish reversal and they buy up, although that's highly unlikely because those individuals are going to mostly be looking at the daily or the weekly chart, in my experience and opinion. These are our uninformed CNBC followers, perhaps, let's say that. Unless they rush in with their fresh capital, I'm not seeing the ability of the bulls to stop the bears from pushing the price down. Especially because, as I said, everybody who bought here has yet to sell off. Shorts obviously getting squeezed highly contributed to this movement up. And if we look at shorts versus longs, we see that shorts are already picking back up again. And where is the resistance to keep them stalled out right here? Everybody already bought down here. Everybody already bought. The buying power is exhausted. We were not able to close above the trend line. Kumo cloud bearish. We're at the set. We're about to bounce right off. Even if we go up, say we pass this key gem resistance. Well, the 786 is right here. And that's where individuals are going to have more of their short sells set at. So I do not see the ability of the bulls to keep pushing price up right now. Sorry, guys. But the overall trend is still bearish, and every indication I see on this chart screams bearish to me. Ethereum looks fairly interesting. We hit our perfected 8 count, and then our 9 candle would have given us a fairly decent entry, although the perfected 8 would have given us an even better entry right on this 13 count to the downside as well, entry position. You can see we've kind of ranged up, but then we came up into the Kumo cloud. We were not able to close in the cloud, but we did pierce up and hit this wick at 220. And now we've retraced and we wicked down and found support right off the 618 at $198.38. So using this, you would want to be trying to trade Ethereum to the upside until we're able to close down below the 618, in which case you're trading in the wrong direction and you want to begin looking at your downside potential. Let's see here. Yep. Bearish volume kind of dying right here. Current volume bar is not registered. So based off this, bouncing off the 618 right here, you want to see if we can move higher. But you've got resistance here at 204. You've got resistance at 207, resistance at 210, and then you've got the Kumo cloud correlating with the 236 Fibonacci retracement extension. So you want to be aware, if you're trading to the upside, you've got your sells, your potential targets right here. So you've got the potential. You've got the potential for some good profits. Overarching profit of 5% multiplied by your leverage. But you just want to be careful, because if we move down below $198, you're trading in the wrong direction and you want to begin looking at your downside potential. Looking at our most popular coin of the week, Ripple. You see we got our 13 count here on this one as price was undecided in this consolidation period when we were telling individuals. We caught the short down. We hit the short, we hit the long. For premium subscribers, congratulations to everybody who took those calls. Let's see here. Now the price has moved up and we've established a new swing high, a new local high. We see we came down, found a little bit of support on the 382. We closed below it, and now we're struggling to get back above it. But your next entry position should safely be down here at the 618. So at about 40 cents, 0.407 cents is where you want to have some good entries positioned out. And we'll see if we can close above this 382. We'll see if we can have a bull break to the upside, which means we need to close above 43 cents. And then we can be looking at our upside potential of 44 cents and potentially seeing if we can break this swing high of 46. However, based on true closes, I'm saying that things are still looking pretty positive. Obviously, we're going to see if we can find support here on the 618, as I just said. But right now, things look pretty positive for Ripple, especially seeing here as we are consolidating right along the zero line. And I'm really looking for us to bottom above the zero line, which we might potentially be doing right now. And if we can see that, I'll be pretty happy, pretty excited. Let's take a look at VPVR. All right. Yep, we are still trading above the volume profile. So we will wait and see. Again, like I said, you have some buys set down here at the 618, which is roughly correlating with a 1 cent difference between the volume profile area. So we can see that our trend has changed to the upside. So I think that Ripple is still looking quite good, especially with the Fisher looking at top above zero. All right, finally, we're going to finish up the day with Litecoin. You can see that after we had established this recent swing high and this recent swing low, we did come up to test the 618, couldn't make it all the way to the 786, so we did get rejected from there. We consolidated back down at the 236, and now we're looking at the trade in the opposite direction from the local swing low to the local swing high right here. And we can see that that correlates with 618, with our 618 fib retracement. So now we're looking at our upside potential of $54.19. $55.16, assuming that the 618 holds. If the 618 does not hold at $52.62, we'll begin looking at fib extensions for our downside potential. Also, we have a strong support here So at $50.08, that's another entry target that you guys could have set. So if the 618 doesn't hold and the 5150 does not hold, excuse me, the 618 does not hold at $52.62 and the 786 does not hold at $51.50, then our final possible entry position would be at $50.08. Otherwise, we're trading in the wrong direction, guys. So Litecoin looking consolidation-y, and we can see we topped here on our stochastic. We're finding previous support here on the RSI, so kind of undecided. Things could go either way here, but we're definitely looking like we're in consolidation with upside potential to $54, $55. We won't really get super excited until we hit our $56 where we tested earlier and see if we can keep pushing up and keep driving beyond that, even though the Kumo cloud is pushing us to the downside. So keep your wits about you with Litecoin. Things do look fairly positive. All right, everybody, I want to thank you for joining me today. Again, if this is your first time to the channel, click on that subscribe button. The question of the day is, what is your theory on the Tether exit scam? Do you think that Bitfinex is insolvent? Do you think that Bitfinex has strong banking relations? Do you think that there is another possible reason for the USDT sell-off? Do you think, I'm just interested to hear your comments on my theories, and I'd like to hear your theories as well. So please comment down below, and we will reply to your theories, and I'd just like to get a good discussion going. If you guys would like to see my full written out analysis of today, as I put out an analysis every day of the week, the weekdays, the weekends, I do not put out the written analysis. I put out the live stream on Saturdays, and Sundays is kind of a relaxation day where we just hang out in the chat and answer people's questions. If you guys would like to see that, please head over to the Discord at discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Links will be in the channel banner and in the description down below, as always. Please check out the website at crackingcryptocurrency.com, and all our socials are well available for you guys. So we'd love to see you in the Discord, love for you to join our trading community. And just remember, guys, trade safely and do not get hitched in by irrational exuberance. Trade safely, listen to the lessons that I try to teach you, expand your knowledge, do your own research, and preserve your capital, number one. I've been Justin Wise with another breaking Bitcoin market update for crackingcryptocurrency.com. Keep it safe, guys.